So I thought I'd do a bit of a video on some work that I've been doing with Java and programming lately, and I've been working on this project called ProxCtrlJ. And what that started out as is basically I wanted to do a cross-platform Proxmox desktop client, and I know that it's not really a use case that many people are probably going to be um, needing, considering how powerful the web interface for Proxmox is. But I thought it would be a good challenge for myself to learn some sort of programming language. And naturally, I went down the route of trying different platforms like .NET Framework or C Sharp and stuff like that. I also at some stage try to muck around with Maui on the Mac and try and make that cross-platform, but I ran into a lot of issues with doing that. So instead, recently, I've been working on Java, and that has been the most, I suppose, rewarding in terms of getting a program working across multiple platforms, whether it's Mac, Windows, or Linux. And so, as you can see, I'm actually running Linux Mint while I'm doing my programming in most cases, and it's been working really well, and been really focused on that. So in this screenshot here, this has been or sort of like one of my steps that I got up to with this application, and pretty close to it. So I've been working a lot with ChatGPT and trying to build up this application and trying to getting it to work. And in this particular screenshot, this was more like a version .2 sort of scenario where I had the box for the list of where the nodes would come in and the VMs running on those nodes. Considering I'm testing against my own sort of home lab, um, and where I would have the status and stuff going in. So this is kind of an older screenshot, but we've now got sort of that working version in this code. So running the code today, I've actually got a lot of these details in here now. So in this version of it, I'm using user-based preferences to save the configuration. So when going into the file and settings window, we've actually got it pulling, not only saving to those preferences, but pulling and reading those files, those preferences for that, and therefore I'm able to reference this throughout the application in one place, and that's saved per user of a desktop. So if in the event that someone is using a multi-user computer, it's not saved to the application or the main application data, it's saved in their local user profile. Or in Windows, Java actually saves it into the registry. So that might come down the track where I might look to change that. But here, like I've actually got working in the left hand side where it actually lists my active virtual machines, but it doesn't really do much with it at the moment. When I double click on a window, it's bringing up a box, it's bringing a name, but I haven't actually formatted all this right. And one of my main problems is that VM ID it just follows the window for whatever reason. I haven't figured that out yet, but that that tends to work because it's actually pulling that across. But here in the tabs, just this night, I have worked to be able to pull the JSON information from the server using the Proxmox API, and I now got the node, its disks, so it'll list out all the disks that are in that computer, and its data, its network configuration, and made that scrollable so it fits in within this window. I've got the storage, so not just like the disk, but the storage nodes on that. So we've got like my ISO one that's pulling from NFS, and all this. So I've yet to actually format any of this so it's a bit more readable. But at the moment, just being able to pull that information and have it repeatable in those steps, as well as the updates. So it's listing all the updates that are available. And at the moment, I've got heaps on my server that have got to be updated, but I'm also doing a count in that. So that's actually pulling that data out. So I mean, there's a lot of work to go to make this any type of usable. The interface still looks ugly, um, but like certain areas of it are there. It just needs to be filled in. Like for example, like the view and the refresh that does nothing. In case there was a change, then I can refresh an element. I've got create VMs and CTs windows set up, but they don't do anything at the moment. And all the tabs aren't even filled in properly. And just getting some of those fields, because there's so many fields when you go through um, the process of doing it in the Proxmox VM interface, then yeah, there's so many fields that we need to configure before even trying to push that and send those API commands to get that VM created. Same with the VM one, where I've got almost nothing else filled in and I've got some labels overlapping there, so I've got to figure that out. My biggest issue with how I've done this, and there's the about stuff, so that actually pulls from the app properties um, thing, so all that comes from the same place. My biggest problem is that working in code to design the interface has been painful at best, because at the moment I'm changing all of the absolute fields and locations manually in the code. I don't really have a drag and drop interface where I can build this out and be happy with it. I've got to plug this all in code. So, but at the moment, I'm pretty happy with where I've gotten to so far with this application, and yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to developing more of this out. So yeah, that's where I'm up to.